Let's get it popping. That's right, Ali. Let's get it popping. Hold on, I'm gonna run a sound test real quick. Hope the delay is not too crazy. Sound checking, sound checking. Sound test real quick. Looks like the sound's good. Not a fan of the delay time, but it is what it is. All right, let me know. Extra clogged up. All right, let me know out there in the digital world if y'all can hear me. I'll be watching the chat from on the phone. Matter of fact, let me see. We in here. All is good. All sound is good. All right, cool. All right, welcome. Give it a few seconds for people to come in the room. Got that purple drink, right? Hold up, where my cam? There we go. Would it be like, Ali? Would it be like Godly Glow? Thanks. Y'all can hear me in the building. Yeah, we in here. Doc will be in here in a little bit. Give people some time to get in here whenever they're ready. I did put the announcement out yesterday, so it looked like some people are getting it. I'm hoping that it sends a blast letting people know I'm live. I know some get it, but not all the time everybody get it. Barbara Saunders is in the building. Would it be like we urban nerds out too at the splash background right there, right? So yeah, for those who are coming in who didn't know, if you have not heard from the doc in a while, that there's two ways that he primarily has been communicating or reaching out to people. That is through Patreon. Let me flip that on real quick. That is through Patreon, and whichever level you'll be able to get the information, regardless of what level it is. Thinker, would it be like, regardless of what level you're on, you'll be able to get plenty of content, especially the 48-hour content that happened near September 11th. What else? The second way is the should be the American Healer page. If you guys have not seen that yet. Let's go here. And where is the American Healer? There we go. So, American Healer page, videos, and there you have it. This is where he's been doing most of the other videos. So, Mike Carter in the building. What's going on? Yeah, so the doc's been reaching out either through the Patreon or through the American Healer page. So, it's just so you guys know. All right. Looks like he is here. So, let me bring him in. Yo, Doc, we are live.
Peace.
We in here.
Yo,
What's going on?
you tell me. Can the people at home see the same thing I see, or no? They don't see what I see. They see like they see like the super polished.
Yeah, they see all that. They see me clicking and moving around and getting into things, but now they see the super polish, you know, right?
Got you. So I get to see a different view. I see like the mics and the screens and the,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
in
I
the
get to
green
see
room.
behind it.
Yep, you in the green room with it. Everybody else sees like the Philadelphia background and the scroll bar at the bottom and all that good stuff, right? I don't know how you normally come on. What I do is I usually just I let my phone do all the background work. Of course, there's going to be that delay, but that's how I'm able to keep up with the chat and everything else going on. What I did learn over time doing this enough to get this as seamless as I want it, I'm gonna have to buy a desktop. I'm gonna have to get a customized desktop, and I'm gonna need 3 screens. I have 2
Wow.
now, so 2 now allows me to do something nice. But if I get 3, you remember we did this a while ago. Whenever we would change screens, it would like break up. You wouldn't be able to see you on the. The reason that happens is because whatever I put on the second screen is primary in every screen that I share. So I need a third screen that locks us in while I have another screen that shares everything. So the tech stuff, I think they can make it simpler, but it is what it is right now.
I think there's a universe where it is simpler for those of us that want to do less. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of things that you're trying to accomplish.
The amount of people who contact me, because what happens is they get their channels to a certain level and then they want to raise the quality. And once they raise the quality, all the stuff I'm doing now is what I introduce them to later.
To them, yeah.
So
It
I can
becomes
make the
relevant.
simple stuff look good, but most of the time they get the thing they want, but then they be like, but what about this channel with the sound effects and the explosions and all that? I'm like, see, you didn't want to be that complicated, now you're asking for it. So you're gonna wind up hitting that point either way. So, but it's all good. Some people just be like, you know what, StreamYard, I'm talking to another person, just leave it at that. And I'm with it. What Ali said, you're gonna need a good graphics card. Graphics card is not my issue. Actually, everything I want to run right now, I can run this joint on 4K if I want. I just don't have enough screens, and laptops don't come with more than one HDMI port. So that's why I have to custom build to put like 3 HDMI ports into a desktop.
You could just get the adapter.
I could, but you lose some resolution and some sound effect quality on that, because you'd be splitting down the signal. It might be possible with a 2.1, but this laptop doesn't have an HDMI 2.1. That's for people who try and run 8K already, and I'm like, yo, you don't have a screen big enough to see 8K. They always want to argue with me about that. I'm like, there's the purpose of more bars and more megapixels is for bigger screens. You can only jam but so many Skittles or M&Ms, so to speak, on a screen size. The one we're looking at right now, we have 8 million. So it's like,
yeah, 8K is when you're going big screen.
Yeah, even 4K doesn't really show up that well on the screens we look at, especially on a cell phone. Most people be like, I can see it. I was like, what you're seeing is the hertz. That's what makes shit move smooth.
Yeah, some people can't tell the difference between the 720, like just the regular HD, and the, because it depends on what you're watching it on.
Right. Yeah. It's like internet signal. If you playing Street Fighter online, the guy with the slower signal is going to run the show. Nothing you can do about that. You got a faster speed, they don't. So somebody going to be skipping and jumping. So since you got the faster screen, you're going to get slowed down and you're going to see the skipping and jumping. Peace to the family. BMST group in the building. Knowledge born online. I see you. He said, what's up to you too, Doc? Carly Green, would it be like Holistic Rudy? Talk energetic. I see y'all in here. All right, so let's get it. First things first, you can give the summary. We seen you was going.
Yo, we've been trying to hold on. While we got Rudy, I need you to email me at melaninversediabetes@gmail.com. Rudy, Holistic Rudy, email me at melaninversediabetes@gmail.com. Thank you, sir.
Send that message out to him. Email the doc at Melanin versus Diabetes, right?
He's watching, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Just make sure the communication's still there. All right.
How's my sound? Is my sound good?
Sound is good. How I hear you, I know is how they hear you. So they told me in the beginning everything's good, and I got my levels and stuff down here, so we good to go. So I was gonna say,
Okay, yeah.
for those
I got
who
my mic. I got my mic on. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like I was.
props to you when you clip
You
that
know what I'm
mic
saying? I
on.
felt like I was. Yeah, I was like, I'm coming over here with Mob, so I'm gonna have, my A10 mini board,
Hmm.
my A10 mini Pro ISO board, my microphone. You know what I'm saying?
I saw it. If
My,
I'm correct, that
my
mic on your neck is the Sony, right? That's the Sony two way.
it might be the Coney, the
The Sony.
Coney
Nah, Sony. They said it might be the Coney.
3-way, one way.
The Sony joint is like silver and it got a speaker on both sides. I found that joint at Best Buy a while ago. I can't find it anymore. I like that one.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was my primary
Now,
when I was doing interviews.
actually, I had it. I had this in the stash. Just what I'm saying, because my main thing. Well, not even my main thing. This is well, my my wireless. This is my. This is what I like. This is what This is what I used to. That was my old baby, but then these are the best quality microphones on earth. Only thing is, they are a little heavy.
Hmm.
They are a little heavy, and sometimes they change my look. But other than that, those are the mic. That's like the microphone. Like that's the best microphone I've ever. They made really good. The Apple microphone is.
Got to be
But
crystal
this
clear.
right here, this just wind up being the good, steady ace in the hole. Yo, where's the microphone? Like
Yep.
this always winds up just being right. Like just
It's the good.
so
It gets it done. Yeah, it gets it done. so
yeah.
so yeah, for the people who haven't been keeping up with the MDR news, the melanin diabetes research news, right? Um, I had on the flyer they saw the Kanye Kyrie cube. You know, we got all that cut in there, right? Um, for anybody who didn't
Wow.
catch up, feel free to give them a brief summary on the mindset of the information that has been distributed. You know,
So what we doing with the MDR news? Wow. Where do I start with that?
because
Okay,
the
so
sound bites
first,
were huge. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Please share them too. Everybody at home, please share the hashtag ANYMINUTE. So it's like hashtag any minute, but it's really hashtag a New York minute, right? Because any minute could be a New York minute.
Right.
So definitely share the little small clips. But the MDR news. So here's what I realized, right? And this is kind of why I'm formulating because I feel like going live on your channel is like the home, like almost like one of my pages. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like this is my
Yeah.
old. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure I word things appropriately. So what we're trying to do with the MDR news is a couple of different things. Things are happening and changing so fast that we need to be able to be plugged in a way that allows us to disseminate the information to the masses
Right.
outside of what we do in the private. So that's the one thing that people have to understand. You have to have your home team, your organization, your movement, your family, but then you also have to have a way that you speak to the masses, right? So Patreon is our home team.
Right.
YouTube is kind of the masses. So with the MDR, that's one thing we want to do is have an outlet for the masses. Secondly, we wanted to differentiate what we were doing with MDR News from what we're doing with the American Healer podcast. Shout out to DJ and DA, my co-host. With the MDR News, it's a little bit more information focused, where there's, less antics, it's a little bit more information focused, but there's a lot of things happening that we need to stay abreast of. So of course everybody knows about the Kanye stuff and blah blah blah, but this study came out of Asia that sleeping longer than 45 minutes in the daytime can cause diabetes. We also have some study coming out of the CDC that vaccines affect different races differently. Right now, it's not saying that it's less effective or more effective or anything crazy like that. Well, it's not saying that it doesn't work. It is showing that there's like a 5 to 10% difference between the races on how the vaccines affect people. So there's a lot of validation in terms of the nuances and people being different and how things need to be addressed to people just in that release from the CDC.
Right.
We also have a study. Now, these are the types of things that we need to have. Like, these are the reasons why we have the MDR News, because this is the kind of stuff we got to discuss as it's happening. We got to know about this. This is not stuff that we could wait to find out when somebody's sick, laid up, and they rushing me to ship them the package, right? No, you need to know this in advance. That sleeping in the daytime affects you differently than sleeping at nighttime. Just think about how many people, especially in our culture, we gonna grind till we get it. And I can sleep when I'm dead, and sleep is for suckers. And a lot of people, people got work overnight. I used to work overnight. I used to work 12 to 8. I used to work at I used to be a bouncer at nightclubs, after hours bars. I used to work at a flower warehouse, 12 midnight to 7 in the morning. My point I'm in saying all that is I get it. You work, you do what you got to do. You up at night and you trying to make up for those hours in the daytime. A lot of folks, you can't do that. It's not the same.
Right.
It's apples to oranges. Nighttime hours versus daytime hours affect your body differently when you sleep. You can't think that you're going to make those up. You're going to make up a disease trying to sleep through the day, which you should be sleeping at night.
I used to get headaches when I would take midday sleeps. I didn't like it.
Listen, it's a thing. Now I couldn't understand why it didn't work for me. Like, I'll still catch a little power nap. You know what I'm saying? Like, power naps worked for me, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. But any long sleep in the day always made me feel more wore out. Like I always would wake, it was just weird.
Right.
But now we know the study is that it actually is taxing to the body to the point where it'll throw your metabolism all the way off to where you can become diabetic just by sleeping long hours in the daytime. It's crazy. But like I said, again, these are the kind of stories we covering, along with, what happened with Kanye and Kyrie, but just from different angles maybe than other people would approach these conversations. Like, for instance, with Ye, respectfully, Ye's situation, just point out maybe where Ice Cube had said whatever about Ye, making it seem like Ye was crazy. And I had to play the clip of Ice Cube on NBC 20 years ago explaining no Vaseline.
Exactly. Yep. Even I was thrown off when I heard that. I was like, wait a minute, Cube saying
Man, because
All right.
Right. I'm like, hold on, Cube. This Kanye is Cube. He's Cube Jr. What do you mean you don't know what he's talking about? Like, so, but we got to have this conversation because people be in different spaces in life. So when Cube was young, hungry, truth telling, is no Vaseline, but now he's the multi-million-dollar Hollywood mogul. So one of my questions that I asked on the show since we here is, do we have any black multi-millionaires and billionaires that make money without these Jewish business partners? Because they jump online and talk, they saying, hey, the Jewish contracts and da 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 da. I hear you with all that contract talk, champ, but end of the day, all of the multimillionaires and billionaires is doing this, getting their wealth through these Jewish contracts. Even while Dame Dash is going in on Leo Cohen the whole time, he got other white folks and Jewish people that he's doing contracts with that's allowing him to run other businesses.
Right.
So, and then who's the primary consumer base in America? We only 13%. And that 13% all over the place. So who's the primary consumer base? So it's not even just the investment, distribution, and stuff like that on the back end. Who's the primary consumer base? So let's stop being ridiculous. There is no wealth in America like that going around where you're not doing business with other people. Like that's. So my point is, we brung this up on the show because I wanted people to have a more well-rounded view of, like, you're listening to 100 millionaires, right? Kyrie. Billionaires, yay, say that the contracts they signed were no good. So and Ice Cube, even going back to No Vaseline, he was a millionaire when so we barely paying our bills, you know what I'm saying? And like, I got to have these conversations with people, and they're like, yeah, so we got to do it like this and that. I'm like, whoa. Kanye is having this conversation on Drink Champs after he made 11 billion, champ. Kyrie's talking this conversation after he done made 200-300 million, champ. We ain't even made... You know what I mean? We ain't even paid off the house. Yeah, like we still in the hood.
Right.
We can't get distracted and think that, like Kevin Hart used to do one of his old bits when he was like, when he hang out with his rich friends, sometimes, they got too much money, like you can't spend like they spending. You know what I'm saying? So we can't do what Kanye and Kyrie might be doing because we're not in that space where they at. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You might need to stay focused, John Q. Mr. at home or Jane Q. Mrs. at home. You may need to stay focused on your dream and sign you up some of them messed up contracts that leads to millionaire and billionaire sorrows, okay? You might still need to sign you one or two of them. Like, I gotta get ripped off. Somehow I gotta wind up in the mansion, my $500,000 car, and just totally ripped off and just disgruntled. You know what? We're gonna stop supporting these people because they keep signing these contracts with us. Like, wait. Yeah, see, John Q 9-to-5er. My man that's right now on the corner right now, he got 2 warrants out. He ain't paid child support in 3 months. He ducking the people. All them folks there, they still looking to sign some of them back contracts. You understand what I'm saying?
We had a term for that. We had a term for that. When you in that position, we call it caught slipping.
Listen,
When you get
any
caught.
listen, postal workers, supermarket people, corporate America, construction workers. Should I even go into the unemployed? Do I need to even mention? I said, wait a minute, hold on, man. I think people getting this whole thing a little twisted. Okay, now them contracts is not completely, totally.
Right.
My
They
man,
looking at
11 billion in, like these contracts. We gotta figure this out.
I think people getting caught up in they're trying to have the mindset of a person who's been in that world and seen what it's like and seen what things are worth. When you haven't been in that world and see what things are worth, you arguing on behalf of a rich man and you're poor. And that's why it doesn't work out very well. It's like when you don't have much, who are you to say what a good contract is versus isn't? You don't know the marketing, the details, right?
That's why I'm just over there trying to really create, like, here's the thing. Mind-blowing moment. I realized that wanting people to watch out for brainwash is actually setting people up for brainwashing. Brainwashing is the process of having your world curated for you without you knowing it.
Right.
And we literally sign up for that all the time. We just don't realize that. So this whole situation, I realized that, and it's cool. It's nothing wrong with it, right? It's just the way things are.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but here's the problem I have with having my world curated for me. When I'm unaware that my world is being curated for me, and I keep saying it that way. I want that to really hit you, like your world is curated for you. Like your entire world that you know is curated for you through 5 people. 5 people or less. This is a scary, crazy thing. 5 people or less curate your entire world for you, right? Now, I'm saying to myself, okay, that's cool because that's the way things are. That's the way the world works. But I looked at the 5 people. I looked at the 5 people. And basically you're looking at the people who you look to for your information, whether it's your health information or you might be into fishing or you into the Lakers, so you following, Chris Broussard, Nick Wright, boom, boom, Lakers Nation, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Whatever it is you want, you know what I'm saying? My guy Chef, you might be in the food, so you follow my guy Chef Will from Philly, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you want, you know what I'm saying? But you into that, right? So you got that person that you watching mainly for whatever it is that you into. Boom, you consuming that. It might be reality TV show. It could be a YouTube personality, whatever. You into that. Then you might have 2 or 3 other things streamed. So maybe you don't miss an episode of $1 Million Worth of Game. Right. So maybe you never miss $1 Million Worth of Game, and I don't know, you watch Dr. Enqi and you watch, I don't know, 60 Minutes, whatever. Those 3 places that you go to daily curate your world for you. So when I looked at the sources that I check daily, Like the things that you just blindly wake up. You like, all right, cool. Let me wake up and check my Facebook, or let me check my this or that, or let me go see what such and such had to say about this. Or like when you found out, perfect example, when you was at home or you was at work or wherever you was at, and you found out Takeoff got shot. Wherever you was at, somebody told you Takeoff got shot. The next thing that you did, that thing, that's probably the person that's curating most of your universe. Wherever you just went to, what, Takeoff got shot? Let me see what such and such got to say about it. Mm-hmm. That person's probably curating. So when I checked, I was like, man, if I had to create an IQ average for myself based off of those people, I was like, man, yeah, I'm bottom of the barrel with it. Like I'm
glad you brought this up, because when I was in Puerto Rico last year, a friend of mine said something very important, and she said, I got to take a step back and take some time to kind of look at what's going on here, because, and this happened years ago, when social media started tailor making your searches to match what it is you look for, you start to believe that the world around you is based on what you see. But the thing is that, because when Facebook first came out, your timeline was all the people you knew, and whatever time they put something in, it followed it in order. Now, it doesn't matter what order it comes in, because you like to look up the hottest pair of shades, the highest jumping person who can dunk, which I love to look at.
So that's it. So now you're going to have shades and dunking people.
And when it comes to your point of view, so if you're the type of person who leans more left,
it just becomes an echo chamber.
Exactly.
It just becomes an echo chamber. You just hear more versions of yourself. It's like you trapped.
Yep. You start.
It's like being trapped in a hole of mirrors.
You talk to people and you say, "What you talking about? Mad people I know said this. Everybody everywhere saying exactly what I say and not what you say." And that's what we get caught up in. And I always said, someone used to say, I think you even said it before too, go on your social media page and see what the primary things that pop up are. See, now on mine, I used to always laugh. I used to laugh years ago because I used to be like, yo, I know I'd be confusing the hell out of this algorithm because I'd be looking up any damn thing. People forging swords, then next day somebody cooking, the next day somebody throwing a bowling ball, then they talking about the president, then they talking about some random rich person over here. Like, mine is so all over the place because I never allow myself to get locked into one pattern of thinking or thinking the world moves one way. But I still have the people where it's like, these are the people where this is where I'm home at, but I still have to hear the other points of view. So like right now when I'm talking to you, you can give me a point of view about something, but because I hear other people, I can say, I heard this point of view. What do you think about that? And I can measure things, but I can't measure anything if everything agrees with me. So you don't iron sharpens iron, but if you styrofoam,
I said to myself, I'm like, you're right. If you, no. That's exactly what I said to I said, this is the problem right here. So we have to realize we left the world of conspiracy theory. The world of conspiracy theory told us beware, because if you don't pay attention, this nasty hidden secret society group over here will potentially brainwash you, and brainwashing is bad.
Right.
When you grow up and you get into the real world, you realize that the human mind is habitual, number one. Number two, we are a herd animal. We're a herd animal. We're not bred to be alone. We're not built, designed to be. Humans are herd animals. So it just becomes a matter of, okay, this is just natural. What I can control, though, now that I realize just out of habit and how we move, we kind of go through similar spaces, and I have to curate my world.
Right.
instead of one Dr. Enqi and 4 Gilly the Kids, I need 4 I need 4 Dr. Enqis and 1 Gilly the Kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to watch, you know, if it's, you know, if I'm watching The Oval or what else? Hip Hop Homicide. You know about them shows, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
You know about The Oval?
Not as familiar, but I know what it is.
You know about Hip Hop Homicides?
Hip Hop Homicides, yes. Actually, there's some people who they keep up with that, so I hang around them to catch up. Like my brother and my cousin. They're good for that. So when I hang around them, I'm like, go ahead and let it rip. What's going on? Same with sports. I go to them for sports. So
I was just about to say, are you aware with the latest updates of Westbrook?
Not Westbrook, no.
See, and so my point is this. It's dope that we've created spaces to discuss whether we Hebrew Israelites from 5,000 years ago or not, or whether we Comedics or this one or that one, or whether we can do magic, or, you know, we have some really, really eclectic conversations online.
Yeah.
It's dope that we've created these spaces for ourselves. But what about the game? Like, what about the movies? You know what I'm saying? Like Ticket to Paradise. Like, who saw Ticket to Paradise? Like who saw? Yeah, have you saw Ticket to Paradise? I thought that was hilarious.
No, but I planned
George
on talking about
Clooney
movies with you while we were on here. I thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I seen Black Adam was.
Yeah. I saw
Bro.
Black Adam. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
And this week is going to be heavy-handed on the commentary because this is Black Panther's release week.
Bro, chill. Black Panther, I don't know about Black Panther, bro.
Black Adam. I'm going to wait till a week from now. I have a lot to say.
Listen, Black Adam. I think Black Adam upset Black Panther, bro.
Well, we gotta wait till Black. Oh, you talking about the first?
I haven't seen it. Listen, I haven't seen it. I don't know. Like, I don't have no inside whatever. But I'm just saying, on the content, A+.
Yeah.
The script, A+. The graphics, the action, the explosion, the detail. That was that was DC, right?
That was DC, which we know if it ain't Batman and Superman, they tend to fall short.
Bro, that was the best DC movie yet.
You think so?
That movie right there, that hell yeah.
I liked it, but I don't put anything above Dark Knight.
See,
not at the moment. But I do
see, but you know what?
I do love Black Adam. I do love Black Adam.
I'm gonna tell you what Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and I hold this against them. Or not even as much against them, but I try not to let it seep in, so it may seem like I'm holding something against them, but those have star power.
True.
Them stories we grew up with. You know what I'm saying? We done saw a million different cartoon versions, movie versions, TV show versions, like them shows ingrained in our blood. So Black Adam is just coming out of nowhere first, you know, like unless you in that universe, you know what I'm saying? But this is the first time I see him, you know.
Right.
For me and most of the rest of the world, we just getting introduced to Black Adam.
I know of Black Adam, but this is the first time I'm seeing it like in the works. So he definitely wasn't one of the most common comic book characters that I followed. But Black Panther I did, you know.
Now, see, that's what I'm saying. See, Black Panther even have more juice than Black Adam. I just heard of Black Adam when the trailers came out. I'm like, Black Adam? Oh, The Rock. I'm like, so, you know, like that's how The Rock himself is more popular than Black Adam, the character. That's like true. Literally, that's what drove this production. It was like, oh, The Rock has a superhero movie coming out. Was it Black Adam? Like when Superman is coming out or Batman is coming out,
It's Batman.
there's always a thing based on, is the actor big enough to carry the size of the role because the role is so big.
Right.
So even if they put a nobody to be in that role, that person will turn into somebody who, like Christopher Reeve was nobody before he became Superman. Then he was famous as, he's Superman. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you become something like Black Adam wasn't like, no, it was The Rock.
Yeah,
The Rock got a superhero joint coming out. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what It wasn't even a definite to check out. It was like, yo, let's see what else is in the movie theater at the same time, and then maybe we might go see The Rock. But the children was like, no, Dad, we gotta
see it.
But that, whatever that is that they're using, like that 300 technology mixed with the superhero tech, that shit look insane. Yo, that look crazy.
They currently, like, if you ask me, they're holding a high standard on how to do special effects and graphics right now.
Well, I mean, special effects and graphics is superhero movie. Like, if we get away from that, then we're missing the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, superhero movie is 90% special effects and graphics.
Unless we're talking about that original Blade. That set the tone. That was what got us where we are now, the one with Wesley Snipes. Because remember, they wasn't going to have no Black Adam type stuff back then. And for Blade's sake, you needed the person to be able to fight. Like, you wasn't going to special effect your way through it.
You know why I'm going to disagree? I'm going to disagree because of two things. Well, really just one thing. They had money. That was not a low budget film. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Blade. They had money. So my point is, remember, this technology just came out. If this technology, this stuff the technology they're using in Black Adam, if that would have been available, I don't know how old is Blade, 20 years now?
Yes, at least. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they would have had, you know what I'm saying? If they would have used, it would have used more up to, like, if they would have had these things of it, like people be saying, and it's a similar comparison, but it's a different universe. Mm-hmm. But people be saying like, yo, Marcus Garvey didn't have social media. Bro, if Marcus Garvey was alive right now, he would be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, mm-hmm. So that's my disagree. Like, if this tech had been around, I think Wesley would have used it. I think that they definitely. Now, what I will agree with you is, I definitely agree that they had like a Blair Witch kind of effect where even without the tech, you know, but that was just. I think
Wesley
that was
knew
just
how to do his thing. Yeah, he knew how to do his thing. Like we know, we take not Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because now we're talking about Wires. But if we take Ip Man, when the person,
but even if you saw Wires, hold on, let me ask you a question before we even move from that.
Right.
Do you consider Wires to be special effects? I do.
Yeah, because I know what it takes to get those out of the shot. It's a pain in the ass, but I know how to do it. So the budget needed to do wire special effects is pretty annoying. Yeah. For those of y'all who are into that, go over to Urban Nerds for that. Go to Urban Nerds for that. Yeah.
Right. So before we get everybody lost. So anyway, over at MDR News, that's basically trying to we just got lost in a conversation we created. So this is a prime example that we need to have these conversations. You know, like our world is being curated for us. People less intelligent than I am should not be left to curate my world and my experience.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, you at home you got to say the same thing to yourself. The people that curate my world shouldn't be less intelligent than I am, or so filtered up that they have to pass themselves off as less intelligent than I am. Because if my world is curated through these 3 or 4 platforms, and the 3 or 4 platforms maybe like, so maybe you into consciousness, but you watching a platform that's into maybe like chakras and other stuff like that. That stuff is not real. So a lot of what's filtered through those platforms is going to be not real. So your view of the world will not be real. But say, for instance, you into consciousness, totally different. You into like history, and this is your view of the world will not be current, because most of what you're consuming is about 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 years ago.
Right.
Right. If you consume, and this is a trend that's happening everywhere, right? From consciousness to the rap to sports now to news, everything is a debate show, right? So a lot of people, like, they watch the battle rap, smack, they watch conscious debates, right? Then they watching Skip and Shannon or Stephen A versus Max, like, so it's debate. So now they filter their whole world in as an argument.
Right.
But that's not the whole way the world, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, okay, so at the MDR, once again, like, we trying to just give a much more broader experience.
Yeah.
You know, have a hub where we can, you know, kind of discuss current events, but from where we are. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense, honestly, for us to spend 5-10 years studying any of this stuff that we study, you know, to then have our world curated for us by savages or people that are illiterate, or, you know what I'm saying, 4th or 5th grade, you know, reading love, like that. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Right. And we shouldn't have to only be limited to what we discuss either.
True.
Right. We shouldn't only be on here discussing whether Yahweh should be spelled with uppercase or lowercase, or like, no, what about the regular shit that goes on? Like, I'm excited about having a dog. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited that Westbrook is looking a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do I go discuss those things loud? Like, do I need to actually still go to a bar? Like, even though we have, quote unquote, studied ourselves into a higher level of consciousness, at least that's what we tell ourselves.
Welcome to the 5th.
Where do we have the other conversations? You know what I'm saying? Because that is the thing that's required, you know, and it has to be from a real standpoint. You know, just as much as we want to talk about Kyrie apologizing or not apologizing, we want to talk about the flu vaccine, or the flu now causing people to have diabetes. See, this is flu shot time, right?
Yeah.
This is one of the things we talk about. This is flu shot time. People need to know that the flu shots that are coming out now, that have been coming out, but again, we haven't been discussing that because of the other. But the flu shots, the paperwork is coming out that the flu shots are now, and this is, again, people, patreon.com/Dr. Enqi, $ Minister Enqi. You know, go to the website, get your detox, your blue magic gel, drenqi.com. Make sure you refresh the payment screen. If you don't refresh the payment screen, you won't be able to put in your payment information. But when you support, this is the kind of stuff that you're supporting, this real-time information because I know some person right now is watching like, yo, he's literally making this up. First, he said that napping, sleeping in the daytime can cause diabetes. Now he's saying that the flu shot can cause diabetes. So he's basically just getting ready to say anything could cause diabetes. So go buy his products. Listen to me. Y'all gotta know I have children. My children don't play with me. Like, my children are so wicked. They're wickedly honest, bro. I'm telling you. They are wicked. You know what I'm saying? They tell me, Dad, listen. Woo! They just, and it's like two of them, they got that mouth from their mama. You know what I'm saying? She just, woo! So the children just tell me, you know what I'm saying? So they don't, it's not like they fluff this. They like, no, Dad, let me tell you what it sounds like to me. Okay. It sounds like you made that up. People are going to think you're desperate to sell products, Dad. I was like, yeah, right up until they search it. And then they go, oh, wow, the flu shot. Now, and it's not just the flu shot. So I don't want people to think it's like it's anti-vaccine rhetoric. No. Exposure to the flu now, as well as the flu shot. And this is where the conversation gets interesting, you know. And like I said, this is the reason why you guys got to support and come over and support and subscribe to the page. Go subscribe to American Healer YouTube page and then join the Patreon so you don't miss this stuff.
Right down there on the bottom of the screen, people.
Yeah, because we're in promo phase now. So the videos are going up, but soon it's just going to be podcasts. And the videos will only be on the Patreon.
Oh,
right now.
Did you catch? You probably got an email from them. You can finally upload your video direct to Patreon.
To Patreon, yeah. We're looking at
that. I don't know why they didn't. They should have bended that. I was like, thank you.
They needed to develop the farm to have the bandwidth to be able to cover, and then compete with YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, now they in a space where they like, you know what, YouTube, we're gonna take you down. So that's gonna be interesting to see how they compete with YouTube over the next. Mm-hmm. But my point is, and that's even further elucidating my point there, is that, you know, the videos being on YouTube and being everywhere like that is not permanent.
Right.
Excuse me. So the everything will eventually be podcasts everywhere. That's the main thing. I realized over
the cable companies. You thought you was gonna get away when you got rid of cable. Like, oh, they got the app now, and now you got the apps and the ads.
Well, no. I'm gonna tell you what happened. No, I realized again, listening to the youth. Shout out to the MDR group. You know what I'm saying? I get a lot of guidance from the people in the group. A lot of good advice and guidance. But you just got to keep up with the times. You got to switch up. You know what I'm saying? So it was brought to my attention that I wasn't properly using social media, right? Each different type of social media has an attention span. You can still hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
This is what it feels like.
Each different social media platform has a average attention span
TikTok
that
being the fastest.
That their consumer Now, YouTube has a attention span. YouTube has an attention span that's somewhere.
What, 8 to 20 minutes? Or is it longer?
No.
I don't know. I don't know their average, but I know they shift
like
their monetization on the average.
It's like 3 minutes or something like crazy. It's like
3 minutes.
3 minutes, 5 minutes or something low. So my point is that I realized, so when I get this information, like I'm doing 2 hour, 3 hour, 10 hour videos on a platform where people want 3-minute videos, 5-minute videos, which is the reason why shorts are taking over YouTube. Like the 1 minute, 2-minute videos are now taking over because so Instagram, YouTube, all of those places is podcast is actually the only place that people sit down to consume 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, 5 hour, like long material.
Because they driving most of the time.
So,
That's why people always ask me. They was like, "Yo, what podcast you listen to?" Because when I be driving, they always follow those two after each other, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you know." But I'm a visual person, so you know.
And again, curated in my universe. I don't drive, so I don't think about drivers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not in my universe. So now I'm learning, like, no, podcast is where I should be living at, primarily because of the length. And not just the length, because more attention is required than the average person's attention for the average show. If the average show is on sports, I won't say politics, but I'll say sports or entertainment or debate, you know, that kind of stuff. A lot of that surface level, you know, this is kind of like you gotta, you know, chemistry and, you know, like you gotta kind of pay attention, and then it's 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours. So it just figuring out some stuff and moving some stuff around. And then also I just did a 48-hour marathon, so I needed to give people time to study that information and break that down and really make that make sense for themselves. Because to do 48 hours like that and then try to keep bombarding people, like it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
I had to give people time to literally go through that and learn and glean as much as they could. Now I'm coming back and we can go review
And
step by
them
step.
hardcore followers don't want you to stop. They're like, "Yo, where he at?" I'm like, "Yo, he just did 48 hours."
I'm like, yo, you just got a whole 4 years worth of info right there, one setting. Like, you got to do your work now. Now you got the info. Now you got to memorize that. Like, can you spit back that 48 hours to me? No? Oh, okay, so you still got work to do. Yeah, you know, but I realized that I got to go through it. So that's where a part of the idea for the New York Minute came in. It was like 600 slides, 1,100 slides, 2,000 slides. Like, there's no way to quick that. You know what I'm saying? But what I can do is take 1, 2, 5 slides on a given subject and just go.
Yeah, bullet point.
And go through the information that way. Mm-hmm. And then that way I'll have the small 1 minute, a New York Minute. I have the small clips to put up on social media. And then for MDR News, those clips, because obviously we're sponsored by our MDR supporters, those can be our commercials. So we can discuss our other things because we still have the skeleton, the backdrop, the framework, the foundation, which is our health science and study, our melanin and diabetes research at the forefront of the show. You know what I'm saying? So we're always going to go back to those foundational ideas, but just keeping people abreast, because like some of these ideas is crazy. Taking a nap could give me diabetes. Going to get a flu shot could give me diabetes, but it's like going to understand the nap thing is the hormone cascade. Like, just everything that happens inside your body when you sleep at night is totally different during the day. So you got to realize, fast forward to the other, it's not really much different. Now, it was mind blowing for me. I'm going to be honest. Because it's like, man, every time you think you learned about the body and you know something, it's like it's just like you beat a master and you beat a master on a video game. And then you realize there's another level with another master. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't finish the game. Like, there's another whole, now you're at zero again. Start all over. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now with this when I looked deeper into this, the crazy thing was that the process that your body has to go through, and I think this is one of the problems with medicine that makes plants superior, or has superior aspects. This is a superior aspect of plants, I should say. The process of changing from your everyday gear, right? So like you're at your everyday gear for your immune system, you know, whatever that is. Now, you go to the supermarket and somebody sneezed on the bread, you touch the bread, now you got the flu, bang. Or you went and got the flu shot at whatever to protect yourself. So natural exposure out in the world or forced exposure, vaccine,
Or wild type
you got
versus
the
lab type.
Right. Wild type versus lab type. Either way, right? The process that your body goes through internally to begin to protect itself and produce those antibodies, etc., changes parts of your metabolism so that even though your body will successfully most times fight off the flu, successfully fighting off the flu creates the foundation for what turns into diabetes right after. So now that opened up a plethora of doors, and also just for things that I might have been like 90% on, now it's like, oh wow, we never thought about the process of healing damaging something else.
Right. Because when energy moves one way, something else is not getting what it normally would get. And normal
Well, it
is
depends if you
circadian
got a
rhythm.
bull in the china shop approach.
Yeah.
It depends if you're using a bull in the china shop approach versus if you're using a more gentle, subtle approach.
Right.
The problem is the more subtle approach may not fit people's lifestyles. It's like when people consult with me, right? By the way, for the month of November, people, I'm doing free consultations by text. Okay, 586-298-5000. Free consultations via text for the month of November. But when people consult me and they ask me sometimes like, hey, I got this injury or I got this problem or that problem and I'm trying to deal with it natural, you know, I ask them about their life. And then I'm like, all right, well, look, here's what it really looks like. You know, that injury, yeah, you know, it's possible that you could heal it up naturally without any, you know, knife or any pills, but that might take you 12 months. It might take you 24 months. And you might not be at 100% after 18 months or 24 months. What's your lifestyle look like? You know what I'm saying? Now, there might be some risk or some side effects, but the knife and the pill is a 90% chance it'll have you back wherever you need to be at in 6 weeks. What's your lifestyle look like?
Right.
Because a part of healing is restoring my lifestyle. Well, what is that lifestyle?
This is where
Right. And
this is the conversation people didn't have when the Cove came around. People didn't have that conversation. People were jumping into I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that because of what I believe or what I want. But you didn't have the foundation that rocks with what you believe or what you want.
hey, shout out to the Vegan Botanica, 453 West 238th Street in the Bronx. The Vegan Botanica, partnered up with a young man up there. Beautiful inspiration. The Vegan Botanica, young man up there, touched by the information, student, took the information, got a farm, juice bar. get to it in the Bronx. If you're in New York, you should be at the Vegan Botanic already. If you're in New York or New Jersey and you haven't went to the Vegan Botanica to just splurge, like just go in there and buy everything. Go to the Vegan Botanica with the family. Like don't go, like instead of going on your next trip to wherever you're going to get food from, go to the Vegan Botanica. Take your family there, like pull up, like get fresh, get dressed and go to the Vegan Botanica. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go do that. You know, like, I had to put that in there. I'm sorry, Mark. I had to put that in.
Hey, look, if it's it's good for the culture. So let's get it. Because at the end of the day, what's it all for if we don't actually put the actions in motion? So anyone who puts the actions in motion, thumbs up from me.
Hey, we trying to do our thing, you know.
And I always miss having places to go, which is why as a photographer, I already like moving around a lot. So when I move around, when I go to certain places, like I was in Penns Grove this morning, which is in Jersey, and it's like, well, what's in Penns Grove? I'm always asking people like, what y'all got here? Like, I don't care what side of the fence it's on. I just want to know what's going on in town.
If you in New York, upstate New York, Jersey, Connecticut, you have to go to the Vegan Botanic on 238th Street in the Bronx. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's all I can say. Oh my God. They got electric food there and they got luminous food there. Woo! That's the separate Dr. Enqi from, not to say, listen, because that's the new controversy that's creeping up. They slowly but surely, oh, we knew it. We knew it. You was gonna try to go against Dr. Sebi. We knew it. You trying to say Dr. Sebi was wrong because he said the body was electric. I'm like, no, Dr. Sebi's a part of the foundation. I deify Dr. Sebi. I love Dr. Sebi, so I'm not saying he was wrong, but I'm saying what he was building was incomplete. I'm just coming with another level to it. The body's not electric. If you're still saying that, teaching that, right? And if people are still saying and teaching that, that means that if you're saying that and teaching that, or if you're somebody following somebody who's teaching that, and you're buying their products and blah, 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 and they telling you that's they son, that means that it's incomplete. It's not correct. So you could be mad with me. I'm not buying Enqi's detox because he said such and such and such, or I'm not buying his sea moss gel because he talking about such and such. Listen, the bottom line is I have a more advanced understanding, which creates a better platform to design the products from, because they're based on a more complete understanding of how your body works. That's all.
Right.
I was teaching. I'm still there are still people right now that don't know what the NRF2 system is. And these is people that's quote unquote healers out there with product lines. There's people out there, there's people out there right now selling herbs for healthy children, for smart children. They don't have children. Wait, what? I'm saying people watch me make children over and over and raise genius level children. But somehow in their mind, they might go, oh, well, let me go try this over here. I got to, huh? And then why would you ask me? Because I'm going to tell you what my father told me. I'm not going to go and ask a mechanic to fix my sink. I'm not going to go get the plumber to fix my car. Right. So why would I go get herbs and supplements for raising children from somebody that hasn't raised any children? Like, I don't know what to tell you folks out there. So no, that's not a soundbite, folks. That's not a news thing. You guys just have to accept it. You know, I'm the first one with the herbs that regrows the pancreas. You guys just got to accept it. Listen, you guys just have to simply accept it.
I do y'all one better. The same thing I tell everybody else. Because obviously I'm the guy down the line, right? They can't reach you, so someone's gonna reach out to me, which is cool. You know, it's no problem. You gotta spread it if you can't get to everybody. But I always tell people, if you're wondering, go through the process and go through the process as it's written out. Don't say I'm gonna try Dr. Enqi's herbs and then I'm gonna mix it with 7 other people's stuff and do this different regimen and all that. Follow it to the T. So when you count back six months, 1 year, 2 years, you could say I did exactly that with this and I got this result. But if you mix it, you give me something to point at and say, well, because you did that, now I'm not sure.
Bro, our minds are backwards, bro. Listen, we're the only group of people on this planet that allows themselves to be represented by entertainers. I'm going to repeat that. We're the only group of people that allows themselves to be represented by entertainers. You'll never find on this earth another group of people that allows a sports player or a singer to speak for them in times of crisis or in times of, where we need ingenuity or we need, to come together and have only Black folks in America, we entertainer, not a thinker, not an inventor.
I actually have that. It's funny you brought that up. I have this conversation a lot.
Not an engineer, not a thinker, not a philosopher, not a scientist. No, an entertainer. Not even a politician. An entertainer.
I have this conversation all the time, and a lot of people bring up a really good point with it, which is, the whole throw the baby out with the bathwater thing. We won't let people lead where they're greatest because we don't like something that has nothing to do with where they're greatest.
Genius lives matter. Listen, genius lives matter. We don't respect genius. There are other things that we put above genius. Mm-hmm. In this community, where it's supposed to be family first, if it was family first in this community, I would be a millionaire because nobody has raised a family out in the open, problems and all that. When I'm beefing with guys online, they bringing my baby mama on the and through it all, I fought to heal people and to raise my babies. Only that's all people know me for. You would think that if it was really about that, I would be Jesus out here already. I would be the best thing since sliced bread. But no, instead, because it's a bizarro kind of world, attention and support goes to guys that have $25 a month child support and they're in arrears 5 years, 10 years. How you in arrears on $20 child support? And you got cash apps. and hold on. And because you say queen and king. Hey, come on, king. Come on. Your chakras and all. Because you say chakras and king and all that. The people think that means that this is a really spiritual brother. This is a spiritual brother right here. I can't tell. Because you're not spiritual to me if you don't take care of your children.
Right.
So, you got a dashiki on with your hair out and you don't take care of your kids. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's in my universe. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's important to me. So I think that should be important to everybody else, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? You get more respect in this world by standing next to a new car than you do by standing next to your children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or if you post a picture in the jewelry store with new chains, you'll get more attention than if you post with your new baby. You know what I'm saying? Just things like that. Like we'll clean up the feces of our pets, but we won't clean up the feces of our parents. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just like that kind of, you know what I'm saying? So we just have to have a place where, like, it's one thing to have our collective, and I appreciate the people. Especially, let me tell you who the Patreons that I really love. So if you want to join the Patreon, patreon.com/. I love the Patreons that go and find other Patreons, though. As a Patreon, you're supposed to not only support the movement by being a member, but you need to go and get your coat. Girl, listen, you need to find out that vitamin B1 and B6 can help you get that diabetes under control. Okay? Benfotiamine is a miracle vitamin that I found out about from Dr. Enqi, girl, and you can get it on Amazon or anywhere, and it's going to start revolutionizing how your body uses sugar for fuel, just like that. And that is the kind of information that this guy is over there giving out left and right. You got to get in there. And then you get your girl up in there. Fellas, you got to, listen. Man, whoo. Hey, listen, them sugar levels, the higher the sugar levels go, the faster you ejaculate, the less erect your penis is. Because, a lot of times, fellas, you be half staff. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, if I got to pull, I got to keep it real now. A lot of time, you might be half staff. You know what I'm saying, ladies?
You gotta use the body weight to get it in there,
Ladies, come on now. You know what I'm saying? You forcing that thing in there to get smashed and go. So, fellas, you'll have less time at half staff, you know what I'm saying, if you start to get more GABA into your diet, right?
Gamma amino butyric acid.
You get more GABA and you'll have less time at half staff, right? But now the GABA needs certain other things to activate it. Now you're going to say, oh, well, we knew it was a catch. There is a catch. You need to get the blue magic gel or the blue magic powder, because that's going to have a blend of pigments that's required for fully. It's only pigments. Listen, God is music. People don't, let me, and that sound like this is a whole nother, people don't understand how God is music, diabetes. Like, people just don't get. So, God is music. In living systems, what interprets light and sound, and don't get, like, light is a type of sound and sound is a type of light. So don't get too confused on. But it's pigment that allows your body to interpret. So the cornerstone of life is algae, and that's where we find the most pristine pigments to restore the various pigment systems we have in our bodies. It's not that deep. The genius comes in how I put these things together. But just to understand it is basic. It's just going back to the foundations. So this is even how we could fix the atmosphere, how we could save the planet. Because it's algae through music, God is music, algae through music that creates the atmosphere. Literally, the sound that algae makes creates our atmosphere. I kid you not. See, this sound crazy, just like the sleeping could cause diabetes. But this is why, while you at work or while you raising your kids or while you doing whatever, you're paying your monthly Patreon, you're sending Dr. Enqi, cash apps, so that while you're doing whatever you're doing in your world, I can be researching in my world. So at the end of the night, or whenever you get a moment, you can tap in and get updated on everything you need real time. You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to discuss the movies, the this, the that, the BS, the who shot Takeoff? Was it Jay Prince? Why do we gotta go? Like, why do we gotta go listen to Whack 100 to have that conversation? It's people on here that want to know who shot Takeoff. Like, just because we don't eat no meat don't mean that we don't want to know who shot Takeoff. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people feel they're creating this fake pseudo universe where it's like you got to fake, like, no. we want to know who shot Takeoff. You know what I'm saying? And we don't eat no meat. Like, and we want to have good sex. And we, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, nobody really wants to be conscious. That's the secret of all secrets. Nobody wants to be conscious. You know what people really want? People really just want to be happy. And if being conscious is synonymous with being a step ahead, then people want to be that. They want to have the leg up on how to be healthy, the leg up on how to make money or invest or how to have good friendships or relationships. That's all people really want, is to be happy. They don't want to be like. So we just got to have a space where we can have these conversations. We want to know, okay, Jay Prince's son, they set up Takeoff, or what? Was it the dice game, or was it the girl? What happened with the yellow hoodie? Got what? You know what I'm saying? We want to know. We want to know all that. You know what I'm saying? Just as much as we want to be aware of what's developing in the Ukraine with Biden, we want to know if the people are dumb enough to vote for this regime again, because this is Team Democrat now. And then the LA City Council that just got the leaked audio. Y'all got to tap into this. See, that's why I'm saying MDR news is important so we can understand this. LA City Council just got leaked private audio from their private meetings where they was trying to restructure the city so that the blacks could stay impoverished. I kid you not. You got to look this stuff up. You know what?
You're gonna put it on the next MDR news, yeah.
No, it's on the last one or the last one before that. Like it's that's what we've been discussing all week.
I saw the first two, half of the third. There's a fourth that I'm waiting to get to.
Listen, we working on filming a new documentary, or not a new documentary, but the next installment of The American Healer. At the same time, though, we are still doing screenings. We still having people post the documentary on their Facebook, their YouTube, wherever. So, if you have a copy, go ahead. You got permission, post it. We still having people reposting Unreasonable Doubt, but we're filming the next video. People asking me about updates for Osborne. Osborne's numbers are still going. I mean, he's still on the program, so his numbers can only go up. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's a beautiful thing. We'll talk about that. We're trying to build a facility in New York, and then we're also working on something out here special in Detroit. That's going to take a little bit more time, but we're trying to get these facilities. We want real offices where people can come in and deal with us. So that's, we need you guys to stay tuned and support for that. Like, that's the next step of what we have. Being able to, for you guys to pull up with your family, come into the office, use your insurance, and be able to take it to the next level. And then, from there, we may be able to roll it out and get offices across the country, or maybe work with some other city councils to create resolution in a city. And then maybe we come in with an office and like just different ways to address how we can roll this health, how we can roll this thing out nationwide. But that's all that I'm about. All of the some of the angry feedback. I raised the standards. You know what I'm saying? Guys running around, I could heal type 2 diabetes, but I don't know about type 1. I raised the standards. Now, if you a healer, you got to be able to address diabetes or not. Don't just say, type 1, type 2 diabetes, exercise and lifestyle, but that means you don't know what you're doing. Just send them to me. Just send them to the pros champ. Seriously, folks talking about the body is electric. I raised the standards. It's not electric. Mitochondria runs on electric. That's the mitochondria game right there. But they've been telling you ever since you've been reading science books that mitochondria is separate from the body. It's a symbiotic relationship. They're its own organism with their own gene code and genome, et cetera, et cetera. So they are electric. They help you recycle your fuel, though. Their fuel is not your fuel. They help you recycle your fuel. Your fuel is phosphorus. And phosphorus, that's right, as a phosphate, releases that light. And that's what your fuel is.
You give them electricity, they give you light.
Yeah, you know, so, you know, things like that, you know, going deeper, pulling out little parts like berberine, milk thistle. You know, younger brother hit me up. He said, "Oh, I got some interesting studies because, you know, liver protection and blah, 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 blah." I was like, bro, I mean, I get it. You excited about it. You just heard about it. But my people good on berberine and milk thistle is part of the detox. So the people that regularly do the detox all the time, they don't need to, we Gucci, we, you know, but I have to go back and do refreshers for people to understand. So again, any minute, the small 1 minute clips that I can put places, you know, like metformin, you know, one of the dangerous side effects to metformin, which is something that we corrected, or at least we addressed with the purple phase. Metformin is an extract from French lilac. French lilac is a herb that we use, but French lilac is dangerous for people that don't know what they're doing, because French lilac can drastically, very quickly lower some of your vitamin B levels. And that'll mess with your blood and some other stuff. Now, with the purple phase, obviously, we buffered that, like we took care of that. So but people that are on, you know, clinical, like they on metformin, they have these issues. So just knowing, okay, small tweak, you know, maybe you're not into, but hey, grandma, auntie, here, let me just get you this B complex from YouTube. I mean, wherever.
Question.
From GMC. Wait, let me get auntie, grandma this B complex. Here, you on your metformin? This is going to help the metformin side effects. Just take, you know, just like the flu shot. Go ahead. Question.
Did anyone come to you asking about S4090 yet? The law that they passed about labeling products and supplements and stuff like that. If not, I have a response on that. I was just going to see if you heard and if you ran into that yet. It's not as much of an alarm as people thought it was.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was ahead of that, and we stay on that. We've been watching the development of that nasty little thing. Mm-hmm. That's what I'll call that since the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the same Codex Alimentaris. Right. You know, that's that same reiteration. You know what I'm saying? And every time it surfaces, but here's the more important conversation. This is why we need you people at home to start to become politically active, because they try to pass bills to, you know, like we don't have to wait until shit happens. And again, empower somebody that has the time and the energy to do the things you don't want to do. So if you don't want to study the politics and the laws and the human body and do all this research to figure out what's what and what law we need to stop and what law we need to push for, like if you don't got the time to do all that, you got to pay for somebody to do that. Right. This is why the Jewish community, this is why these communities are ahead. It's not because of any weird racial dynamic, except for a inside thing. The Jewish community spends money and they take pride in making a Jewish person rich to take care of them.
Right.
We don't take pride in that yet. Like people haven't taken pride and say, you know what, I want to make Enqi rich for what he value, what value he's given to the community. Like, we got to start taking pride in that kind of thing, because that's what other folks is doing, and that's why they're ahead. We just don't do that. So we can't get ahead because we're waiting to get the information after the people who got ahead is finished with it.
So so when we running around our neighborhood talking about what the new thing is, half the time I'm like, they was talking about that like 5 years ago. Like, why now is that the big thing to do? Like, we should have already been there. That's why when people take leadership in the areas they're in, I like to come around and ask them questions like, let me ask you a question. Like I could ask you right now. If you had all the power in the world when it comes to biology, biochemistry, health sciences, and things like that, and you wanted to profit off the system or control the system, what would you do with the things that exist? Because when you start thinking that way, it's like playing chess. It's saying, okay, I can stop problems from happening because I know what I would do if I wanted to cause them. But if I want to solve problems, I also know what to do because I have all the knowledge and the resources to know which direction to go in. Now I got a reason to ask for the support because I know which direction to go in. Other people don't know that. So when you start thinking that way about your specific industry, like I do photography, video. I started off drawing and painting. People used to get commissioned to do that. Now it's just a few people who got a lifetime to say, I'm gonna make this commissioned artwork, and then rich people can hide their money behind it, right? But if it's 3 million artists in the world, back in the day, maybe 3 million got hired. Today, the top 50 maybe, because you have Photoshop, which sped it up. Then you have movie making, which sped up photos. And then you had animation, which speeds up all of the things that came before it. Now you got the metaverse trying to come in. Everything always has something new. So when someone comes to me like, oh, you're a photographer, is the cell phones hurting you? Well, no. But then even if they did, I won't have to worry about it because I started learning animation years ago. So when drawing and painting stopped, I was already in the photography. When photography stopped, I was already in the video. Now that photography is about to go out, animation is going to come next quick. And because of social media, the animation got to be out quick, which is not a quick thing to do. So I have to pay attention to how the animation part develops while at the same time be good at it. So I'm not worried if the thing that I do primary now shuts down because I'm already practiced in the next thing coming. And that's a part of, you said it earlier, a part of keeping up with the time. It moves fast now, so you don't get much time to fall in love with where you are.
Listen, and that's exactly in the space that I'm in right now between the American Healer podcast, the MDR News podcast. I got a lot coming down the pipeline, work with Killer Priests. So we're looking at doing some ground. We're looking to change the world. Like I can't even, like that's as, unfortunately, that's all I can say. Like, and that should have come with great, like, boom, you know what I'm saying? Like, but just change the world. That's all. Again, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But some groundbreaking stuff I got coming down the pipeline with Killer Priests. The podcast, we got so much. November 24th, a sound immune system. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't even think of that. November 24th, Thanksgiving, we're going to have a conversation on the immune system. Obviously, it's only going to be on Patreon. It's not going to be on the YouTube, people. So you got to be signed up for Patreon, but we're going in. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a very short, sweet conversation to have, you know, with the family, but it's just new information to take us right from where we left off at the end of the 48-hour marathon and just go to a whole nother level with it. You know what I'm saying? Just to add some sweet jewels for the Patreon family that been like, yo, where Enqi been at? Okay, because we Patreon and he ain't Patreoning. So what's up? Patreon a two-way street. Damn it, where's Enqi? I just gave you 48 hours to study. Relax. As I also got to go study so that I can come back with more information for you. I can't come back with the same old. I got to go study too. You know what I'm saying? And I need your support while I go handle my business to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like people, when they hear like, oh, I just got these books, or I just signed up for these classes, or I just jumped, like I just took, I graduated a pet nutrition course. So now I'm a certified pet nutritionist, right? A pet nutrition coach, excuse me, not pet nutritionist, certified pet nutrition coach. I'm in vet assistant classes, you know what I'm saying? So,
That's a
and
fun
it's
class to
all,
be around. That is a fun class to be
bro,
around.
and I'm just in these, and I only took these 2 courses not because I'm gonna get a job as a vet assistant,
Right.
but I took these classes just so I could learn more about our puppy, but then also how to service and take care of the dog, you know. And then as I'm learning stuff about the dog, I'm learning stuff about us.
Right.
And then it started getting crazy because I started dabbling into going into the history of these dogs. And
That's supposed to be a part of some Thanksgiving stream stuff, ain't it? Because I remember you were saying,
well,
remember you had the live stream where you were talking about the pyramid.
yeah,
Was it a cat? Was it a dog? Sirius, the Dogon star,
yeah,
the
yeah,
dog on
yeah.
star. I remember. I remember. Yeah, we got some
Yeah. So
dog and some
yeah,
cats to talk about.
yeah. So it's definitely a lot of stuff going on. You know, I definitely want to shout out Do the Knowledge Radio. Um,
What about vegan cats? Somebody said. I don't know if you can have a totally vegan cat.
a
Digestive
vegan
tract is
cat.
not the same.
Okay, here's the thing. I wouldn't even say having a vegan dog. Like that's you
Mm-hmm.
need to have your dog need to eat meat. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like people be looking at me now. Hold on. You want to know what's crazy? I need to find a way to like. I need to get like I was about to say fake, a spy video camera, like an ink pen or something that I could have in my pocket and just record people without them knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like because I be in the supermarket now and I be grabbing like the eggs. I be grabbing little salmon and
Mm-hmm.
people that know me in my neighborhood, they be looking like
They think you about to go in.
they looking like what the but that's how I feed. So just for people that's into that universe, like I don't believe in the raw pet. You know, like 'cause that's a new craze where people is you know, raw diet for dogs. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe that that's where you get the maximum nutrition. Um, yeah, that, and it hasn't really led to any longer lifespans for the dogs. Sorry, folks. But I think that the best nutrition for our pets is somewhere in between.
Right.
It's somewhere in between using kibble, high grade, high quality kibble, and actual real food. You know what I'm saying?
Question
So,
about the dog.
but
Do you, when you feed the dog the dry food, do you feed it dry or do you always supply it with something wet? Like if I put the dry food in a bowl when I was growing up, it would be the dry food in a bowl, a little water on top of that, and then a can of food on top of that, and let them have at it. But some people are like, they worried about the cleanup job. They like, no, it'd be all wet, so I'm just giving dry food. I'm not a
oh
fan
no
of
no
that.
no no
Yeah, I'm not a fan
no
of that.
no no. Let me say this. No. What I'm saying no to is if you're making a food choice decision for your pet and the cleanup is the primary focal point,
Yes.
I feel sorry for that pet. You're not a qualified pet owner. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel sorry for a lot of pets that have bad owners. And I used to be a bad pet owner. You know what I'm saying? I'm realizing now, like, just through my fatherhood, like just spending more time with my children. Again, I want to thank all the supporters over the years that allowed me to do that. But spending more time with them, I just realized, like,
You could see it.
Can be a part-time.
You got open eyes now.
You can't be a part-time pet owner. Like it's really, and it's hard for you to have your dog out and about doing your thing, and it's so many other dogs that's like, and people just feel like if they spend money on the dog, they take care of their dog. But no, that's not it.
That's not how it works.
If you don't walk your dog like 2 to 4 hours a day, your dog is not being taken care of. And I know people is listening to that like, what? Yes, if you don't walk your dog 2 to 4 hours a day, minimum. Listen to what I'm saying. 2 to 4 hours is the minimum. That's the lowest amount of time. You are creating a sick dog.
Right.
So all these dogs you think are healthy, no, you're contributing to the $1 trillion pet care industry, because the dog lives have been cut in half since the 70s till now. Their lifespan went from 17, 15, 20 years to now 6 years, 8 years, and 10 years.
Man, cataracts, cancer, tumors, hip dysplasia.
Everything. 1,000%, up 1,000%. And the reason being is because the nutrition is going down, because people got all these ideas. And the largest poisonous idea that poisons the pets is the same thing that poisons the people. So it's easy for me to see it. And it's this idea that somehow there's a nutrition that's so nutritious. Yo, and we gotta blame Dr. Sabi's ass for some of this too. It's like the Michael Jordan effect. Sabi had a Michael Jordan effect on motherfuckers. You know, like there is no nutrition nutritious enough to void out exercise.
Right.
And a lot of people believe that if they just eat a certain way, or if they just get these herbs, or if they just had this, then they don't really need all that exercise, because
Yeah, you can't eat your way to health. It's got to be combined. Life is motion. Life is motion.
Like, for instance, you mentioned hip dysplasia, right? And I got a Rottweiler. Rottweilers, all medium to large size dogs is problems for hip. Now, you know what they've been telling people the last, 10, 20 years with hip dysplasia for the big dog? Limit your dog's mobility when they under 6 months. Like, don't let them run around. Don't let them jump. Don't let them run or jump for the first 6 months. That's how you help they. I'm like, huh? How can not putting any pressure on my bones lead to stronger bones? Like that's never been
right.
like that's not how your bones work. The thing with these dogs is, though, it seems that their skeleton is still developing into their first few years of life. It's not development inside the womb, like it's development outside. Right. So they need pressure still. Gentle pressure, but pressure nonetheless to continue that development. And then they need the nutrition to match the requirements of the exercise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyway. So we on that, you know what I'm saying? I done stumbled into we doing some wondrous stuff in terms of, like, now people are using the blue magic gel to go into the kibble. So that's what that's why I was like thinking, like, when you was like, do you moisturize the kibble or you just give the dry food dry? I'm saying to myself, do I include the gel as moisturize? Because it is moisturizing the kibble. Mm-hmm. But I always switch it up.
Right.
So there are some times where I just put some dry kibble in it. You know what I'm saying? But that's just usually just to dry her out a little bit and to give her a switch up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it'll just be sea moss in the gel. I mean, sea moss in the gel, kibble in the gel mixed up, the blue magic gel. Sometimes I'll put my mixture, which is like pumpkin seeds, black walnuts rather, pumpkin puree. I put a couple of vitamins, blend it all up, and then I put that on top of the food. I have 2 different raw meat that I give. You know, sometimes I mix them in one plate, but sometimes I'll separate them. But there's freeze-dried lamb I give her, and then we have freeze-dried duck. No. One is freeze-dried. It's freeze-dried salmon. And then the other one is frozen lamb. It's actual lamb, like the organs and the bones, ground up and frozen. So you could just take a little bit off and add it to your kibble. You know what I'm saying? Which is actually the better way for you to do it, because a lot of people think with their dogs, like, oh, these are carnivores, so you need to give high protein. No, that's not what that means. Y'all need to read some books. Just because they're carnivores, that don't mean that they don't need to have fruits and vegetables and all the other. That's not how it goes. That's why the carnivores eat the stomach first, because they're eating the carnivores don't have the ability to break down the fruits, vegetables, and grains.
Right.
So the carnivore needs the omnivore or the herbivore to consume the stuff that he can and to break it down. And he comes to steal that out of their stomach. So the first spot carnivores eat is the stomach, because that has all the broken down plant-based nutrients. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get it twisted. Even the carnivores after the plant nutrients, like, don't. Then secondly, protein deficit. It doesn't just stop with humans. Every animal has one. So no animal needs, especially puppies, that, like, think about this. Now, just like we talking about hip dysplasia, they telling people if you got a large breed or medium to large breed puppy, don't let your puppy do anything. On the flip side, these old on the internet gurus like, oh yeah, you just need raw organ meat to feed your dog, and 100% all meat, and this and that, and no fillers. Like, now there's one thing where they using wheat and corn and stuff like that as fillers, but they calling any vegetable a filler because these are carnivores. They just need meat. No. They need carbohydrates. They need fat for brain development. That's not how it goes. You know what I'm saying? These dogs are not like vampires. They don't so. Getting some of these raw meats and some of these things to mix into your kibble, if you got a good quality, it's going to give you a good basis for your dog's nutrition. And then you can add in the raw stuff to help with enzymes and just putting a stamp on certain types of nutrition, depending on what you're doing with your dog. If your dog is just a pet, meaning a bum, right? If your dog is, honestly, and that's what it is, respectfully, I know, but your dog is a bum probably. If your dog is just like to eat food and watch TV with you, that means it's a bum. You got to think about this. Mm-hmm. A human, think about a human. If he don't got no job, he don't go to school, he just eat and go to sleep on the couch, that's a bum. Mm-hmm. You'd be like, yo, you can't do that up in here. You got to get up out of here. You got to do something with yourself. You can't. But with dogs, we allow it. No, your dog is a bum. Okay, so if you haven't, bro, my dog in school, my dog is getting certified. I'm like, hold up, I know there was a world where dogs go to school and get certifications and all this shit. I had no idea. So now on the flip side, I'm like, yo, so how many motherfuckers out here got illiterate dogs? Yo, your dog is illiterate, bro. Your dog is an illiterate bum. Your dog is an illiterate, out of shape bum. How about that? You don't walk the dog, so your dog is getting 20 minutes. First of all, these are wolves. Dogs come from wolves, okay?
Mhm.
So these are animals that's used to actually being running around for 8 to 12 hours a day. They're used to being mobile.
You know they love it
So
because when you drive, the way they stick their head out the window and just soak all that up. Like,
so how you wake up in the morning, take your dog out for 10 minutes. Soon as they pee and poop, you turn right back around to the house. Period. People take their dog out, the dog pee, a little bit further, the dog pee again. They out there waiting, looking at the like, come on, I'm just waiting for this dog to poop. As soon as the dog poop, I'm turning back around. As soon as the dog poop, they turn back around. Bang. 11 minutes walk. They took the dog out, put the dog back in. Come out, do the same thing later on that evening, twice. And if the dog pee or poop in the middle of the day, they angry with the dog. Then the dog died at 5 years old. They're like, oh my God, what happened to Fluffy? Fluffy wasn't that Fluffy, champ. Fluffy was fat. Okay, you're feeding Fluffy all day, filling up the bowls, and just leaving the food down. Because measuring it is work for you, so you're too lazy. You're just leaving the food unlimited, just high bowl. Let the dog figure out the amount the dog supposed to eat. So the dog just eat as much as it want to eat. Lay down,
got the itis.
get back up, more eating, lay down. Like, nah, bro, come on, man. Like, we got to stop this. You know what I'm saying? Like, people
no work for them calories. Put in no work for them calories.
When I was 13 and Alexis' mom, Jane, was pregnant, the people around me, they was like, bro, you know where we come from. Like, we don't do, like, you're going to have to scrap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that was it. You know what I'm saying? That was it. Because that was the code. Like, that's how my family and the people around us, that was, like, long as you understand the responsibility or the burden, however you want to look at it, as long as you understand the weight you got to carry and you comfortable with carrying it, all right, cool, that was it. I didn't have to get, like, some people as young teen parents, they got really, especially back in the 90s, that was like a thing. They was having like talk TV shows about teen parent explosion and blah, blah, blah. If it wasn't for the teen parent explosion, combating what crack did to black folks, what the abortion did to black folks, we wouldn't be here. So y'all don't understand divine interference when it's happening. Teen pregnancy was divine interference. We needed a quick... God, listen, God was like, hold on, wait a minute. It was just 50 million. Wait, what? It was just... Whoop. That was like some real video game thing right there. God hit a button and we just tripled, just real quick. They were like, what? Teen pregnancy explosion. I was a part of teen pregnancy explosion. Okay. But I didn't really get browbeat like some people because, and I've been like that since, you know what I'm saying? So now it's a puppy. It's, now we on our grind with the puppy. But, my children, they trainers, that's how we call out. We don't like to use the term like owner. We're not into that. You know what I'm saying? So we're trainers. We just training the dog. Outside of that, the dog is a family member. Right. You don't own your family members. Well, technically, I don't know. It depends on where we at in conversation with my kids. I may have to remind them, like, technically, hold on now. I did invent you, so I do, like, you technically are partially my intellectual property. I'm just saying. I came up with you. So, yeah, we had to argue that out in court. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so many different things. Like, we touched on a lot of different topics, even just in the course of this conversation. You know what I'm saying? But that is a whole universe, like the Sphinx not being ahead and actually being like, it got so crazy. They actually went into the historical records from Greece And in Greece, Athens, and places like this, you know, they referred to the Egyptians as the dog people. Bro, this is crazy. Because all this time now, right? All this time now, we've been talking about the relationship of the Kemetic societies to the early Dogon and some of those interchanges, and then the Dogon being like intermediaries between those older Kemetic groups and Hebrew Israelite, Judaic, you know, like some of those other predecessors, even into the Ethiopian, you know, like, and so that's an interesting thing now to find out that the Sphinx may have been a head of a dog, you know, or wolf, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And that the whole, and when you look, Anubis was originally the main god. And then later Osiris became the main god. And from there, Anubis and Osiris are together. So a lot of people forget Anubis all the way around. And it was mind blowing for me to like tap in. Like, I'm like, wait, hold on. I pride myself in being thorough with it. So for me to that's like a whole nother, wait a minute, you don't know anything moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, oh, wait, what? Kemet is the word? Wait a minute. Because, yeah, I keep it real. I'm from 158th Street in the Bronx. I know I'm not the only one that grew up with parents teaching them like, oh no, we don't let our dogs lick us in the mouth. That's white people do that. White people kiss their dog on the mouth. We're not into dog. Like we cool with dogs, but this is a line that we're gonna draw. We're not gonna share food with the dogs. The dogs can't lick. Mm-hmm. So we have attributed being dog people to quote unquote white folks, as if that's a thing. But that's, you know, that's another conversation. So I'm saying, like, it was culture shock for me to find out that no, our ancient civilizations were the actual dog people. You know what I'm saying? So, and even Sumeria, the world of Anu, Enqi, and Enlil was a dog universe. That was a dog worship, and like, and the crazy thing is even the biblical, even all the Bible folks, the Quran folks, right? The Bible and the Quran. Now here's where, so in Kemet, you got Anubis, right? And quietly, Anubis has been erased, so to speak, out of history, but he's there everywhere. Way into the heart ceremony, it's Anubis. The resurrection of Osiris by Isis, it was Anubis that helped do he's there at the most crucial. In Sumer, it's Enqi and Enlil's sister. She's the god of healing in the Sumerian culture, and she has a big Rottweiler-like dog as her animal. Her, you know, like this is her name, and her name is Bow Wow. So literally, like, Bow Wow comes from this Sumerian goddess. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it comes into our culture in ways that we don't even know. You know, and then in the Bible, Abraham, right? The father of the Bible, the father of the Torah, the Quran, you know, the Muslim faiths, the Bible faiths, Hebrew, whatever. Abraham comes from Ur. Now, listening to all these religious debates, I always heard that Ur meant fire. And so, you know, Abraham worshiped fire because he's from Ur, and that means, you know, that they worship fire. And I'm like, wait a minute. You know, I'm Enqi. So I used to study the Sumerian. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me look up Ur again, because Bro, means dog. So now it's even another link to, you know what I'm saying? Because Abraham, the father of the Bible, father of the Quran, he comes from a city named after dogs. So I'm like, okay, there's clearly a whole history that we don't get, you know. So then I start digging into, and I realized, you know, dogs were the nuclear weapons before nuclear weapons. Like dogs was the military before there was planes and nukes. Dogs was the number one superpower weapon. You know, that's what made Hitler strong. Hitler had 100,000 dogs, armored up though, not like dogs just collecting dogs, like 100,000 trained dogs for combat. You know what I'm saying? Like 100,000 German shepherds, Rottweilers, and Dobermans. So they had to beat Hitler in the air. That's why you know they talk about beating Hitler from the air with bombs and all that, because they couldn't deal with them on the ground. On the ground, the dogs it was over. They couldn't deal with them on the ground. You know what I'm saying? But there's a whole history to it. Like there's a whole history. Like the Spaniards that came here, they couldn't have beat, like even the Spaniards coming here. Like it's about to be Thanksgiving. Think about the Spaniards getting here. They could not invade the natives or the indigenous without dogs. The gun is powerless to the arrow, because the arrow, and I know that sounds crazy, the gun is powerless to the arrow. What the fuck has Enqi been smoking? Some of that American healer cannabis shit he got cooking up over there. No, here's the advantages. You got advantages, disadvantages, everything. Guns make noise. Boom. And back then, the gun bucked out. So it wasn't like bullets like it is now. It was more like buckshot. So it was going everywhere, spreading out. Yeah. So that loudness and that spray, that's disadvantage of gun. Because arrow is going to go straight and it's silent. And when you're coming from like a rural kind of, almost a urbanish area, not with rural, but like a herbal rural setting, like how Europe was set up, to a place that's like a lot of trees and not jungle, but jungle-ish. Like just a lot of, like when you're driving on the highway and you look across and you just see all the trees, that this whole country just looked like how the highways look, like that. They couldn't, it was no way that the foreigners could have messed with them. They could just sit in the trees and just pick them off silently, but they can't even get off the boat. They can't even figure out where to aim the gun to shoot it. No, they can't figure that out. The natives is in the trees. They in the bushes. They killing them silently. But when they release the dogs off the boat, the dogs can go right into the bushes, right into the trees on smell. And the dogs can work in the dark, because dogs could see better than humans at night. So they just got to wait till the night, release the dogs. When the dogs go, the people going to start yelling. Whoever hiding in the bushes and the trees going to start yelling when the dogs start biting them 10 head. You know, so now we got targets to shoot at. Bang, 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 just like shooting ducks. Because the dog's going to allow us to do, you know, to do all the work. And then we'll let the dog eat like the people that... They let the dog eat the people.
When the light come in, it double bounce, just like cats. That's why when we, you know, they got the red eye setting on your phone, so the shit flickers multiple times, then bang, you get red eye on humans. You can tell they got a double bounce shield because green comes back.
Bro, listen, man. That's another thing, though. We're working on the American Healer cannabis line. I know I'm forgetting something. Go get your Eat Right for Your Haplotype book if you don't already have one. If you already have one, but yours is already getting worn out, that means you need a new one. I done already went through about 4 copies myself. Go get your detox. Go get your Blue Magic gel. drenqi.com. Don't forget, refresh the payment screen. Join up to the patreon.com. Send me some cash apps. Make sure you keep me well funded so I can do this work. Because right now, you gotta know it. There's a reason why we having this flu conversation.
Say what the cash app
right?
is again.
$ Minister Enqi. $ Minister Enqi. But there's a reason why I brought up the flu. You know what I'm saying? Remember, see, y'all got to pay me to do the thinking and the research that y'all don't want to do. Remember how the pandemic hit? How do we know the pandemic hit? How did the pandemic hit the pop culture consciousness of America? The NBA, people. Yes. So the people who watched the NBA were the first ones to know about it, and everybody else, y'all figured out from wherever y'all figured out from. You know what I'm saying? But the NBA is what made it popular. Now, you know, some of us in the little information huddles and groups and clubhouses and, you know, our little circles, but for the most part, for the Rudy Gobert and the NBA. Now, what's happening right now? LeBron out of nowhere. Oh man, you know, I woke up Sunday and something just. Now, what happened? $300 million. Look, just a month, 2 months ago, the American government invested in $300 million worth of radiation medicine and say, hey, no, this is just a precaution. Don't nobody worry about this. It's just a precaution. $290 million of radiation medicine. Now, obviously, if you got the blue magic in your house, you don't got to worry about the radiation. But if you don't, if you got that Caribbean moss, you keep telling yourself, oh, I don't got to get Enqis because I got this one. You're going to be mad. You don't wait till your skin coming. You going to be mad. You want to get the right, you know. So LeBron just came down with something. At the same time, they said, oh, the flu is back with an exceptional, no, what they said, not exceptional, a rigorous, unheard of level of, you know, like, basically, it's back with a fury. And you guys got to remember that a part of the corona family is the viruses that cause your common cold and your flu.
Right.
Not the complete, but a part of that family. So that was all missing. So now that things are going back to normal now, you got these viruses floating around that are, just think like this. The flu been not even in the gym. The flu been doing prison workout the last 3 years. That's where the flu been. The flu been doing mad pull-ups, dips. The flu been taking steroids too. I don't know how you get steroids in jail, but just imagine it, okay? The flu been taking steroids and doing prison workout. So the flu is floating around out here. Like, so, you know, while we talk about, did Kanye make 11 billion? Did they jerk him? Did they jerk him? Because he got 11 billion, but maybe he should have had 13 billion. Is that what Kanye's saying? That he got 11 billion, but he should have had 15 billion? Or is Kyrie saying he got 200 billion from Nike? He got 200 million from Nike. He should have got 300 million. We trying to keep the lights, General Electric, DTE, cell phone bill. Ow! So we got to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and not getting caught up in these celebrities. Yeah. And when I say getting caught up in them, it's cool to follow and get the news. 50 Cent said what? Oh, 50 Cent was down possible. I'm with it. I want to know. But we got to remember, we not the celebrities. We don't have nutritionists and chefs and this one and that one in the kitchen on staff. We are the healer and the vanguard and all of that for ourselves and for our children and for our pets and for our loved ones at home. So at the same time, it's just cool to figure out what T.I. going through with his son. My guy, you need to know what you're going through with your son. You need to have what you got protocol, what you got ready when your son call you coughing. And he like, Dad, I don't know what this is. It's not, I'm not positive. I went and got tested for, I'm not positive for, what, I don't know what this is. What you gonna tell him? you ain't on Dr. Enqi page because no, come on, we can't play with this. We got to support this institute. We got to make this institutional. Like when we think about, and here's the other piece of the conversation with this Jewish thing. When we think about the Jewish people, we go, oh, they own all the media. Hold on. When we keep saying they own all the media, we got to expose this shit. We got to discuss these things. See, this is what MDR News is for. We got to discuss these things. When we saying they own all the media, do we realize as black folks that they purchase those things? Like somebody, case in point, somebody purchased a newspaper in the Jewish community to supply news to the Jewish community. Said Jewish community said, hey, we like the idea of you informing us. We're going to make sure that we support that until you become rich and your newspaper that was made for us is so big that the rest of the world has to follow what it is that we're saying. And so they did that over and over. So now they have multiple newspapers. They said, hey, we could do the same thing with video. Boom. Somebody invested the first money and then other people support, then boom. It's not like magic. Somebody gave them a bunch of newspapers and bam, here's a bunch of no, they bought it. Someone said, hey, I don't mind doing this work. I'll put up the bread and start doing it. And then the other people said, hey, that's a good value. We'd like to have that in our neighborhood. So let's make sure we put some money over here for you to make sure you got what you need. That's how we get news in our neighborhood. It's just we support. Like, oh, yeah, you know what? Yeah. They put up their hospitals in their communities, their newspapers in their communities. The thing is not to keep coming out here saying that the Jewish people got this. They didn't get no gifts. That's the shit they're trying to say about the Holocaust. They're not saying the Holocaust is better or worse than what black folks went through with slavery. That's not, if you sit down and have a conversation with a Jewish person, that's never going to come up. They just saying like, yo, what y'all waiting for to get, like Jay-Z said, you in the street, nigga, make a move, get your mail. He said, what he said, you was cruising the SL, something. I forgot the verses, but that's basically the same premise. We went through the Holocaust and we tightened up after that. That was a worldwide slap in the face to all of our people to say, hey, tighten on up. Y'all got the worldwide slap in the face, but y'all didn't tighten up. Y'all can't be mad at people that tightened up because y'all didn't tighten up. Tighten up. Tighten up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's a hard discussion to have because we got levels.
Hey,
we got levels of tightening up.
But we gotta keep it. We gotta start keeping it all the way super real.
Yeah, we
gotta say to ourselves, yo, it's true. It's Jews out here that's racist, but it's everybody that's racist. Racism is a part of nature.
Yeah, racism is out there.
You know what I'm saying? It's but it's a part of nature.
Right.
I promise that lions think they better than tigers. Elephants think they better than hippos. Like that's what if not, you got depression. That's actually called a mental illness. If you're an elephant and you're walking around wishing you were a hippopotamus, you're depressed. You have clinical depression and some shit's wrong with you. They're going to have to get you on an elephant Prozac or something to get you together. Because clearly you should be happy and proud you're an elephant. You should be thinking elephants are the flyest whatever of the whole, like you should be happy. You should be thinking you the main character. You know what I'm saying? But like, so that's not really a thing in that way. You know what I'm saying? But you get together and they take it to oppression and some, that becomes different. But I'm saying like just on a GP, we gotta just do our shit, bro. We just gotta do our shit. So, I just keep, leaving the breadcrumbs in the trail so people can say, okay, this is how we gotta do this. We gotta build it up. And we already got somebody on the front line. So it doesn't make sense. You cannot be, no matter what happens from here into infinity, you will never, ever, ever be the first healer to go and get their own CMOS because I'm already that person. no matter what happens from here going forward, you'll never be the first healer to discover the herbs to regrow the pancreas, because I'm already that person. Like, we don't need to we can't even reinvent the wheel. The wheel already been invented. That's the thing about you can't reinvent the wheel. Is once it has an inventor, it's already invented. Now it's just that person. You can't do it again. I already did it. So now we just need to build around this and support it and protect ourselves with this. We got what we need. We got what we need. We got to build this out. And unfortunately, no, the end of the game was not that the body's electric. That was the end of the understanding how energy is generated via mitochondria. But the body is luminous. And so when we end the study of the physical body and get more into the spiritual and just the mental faculties, the emotion, like when we get into some of these other areas, that's where the conversation begins. It ends with electricity and begins with other forms of radiation, more specifically light and sound, and how magnetism is able to control light and sound. So we're going to have that conversation ongoing, but we're going to go in depth on Thanksgiving. That's going to be the bulk of that conversation. But
Thanksgiving.
Got to do it for that. And listen, I can't give y'all high power shit where you be like, oh, like I can't do that without studying. Like people, and I'm not going to steal. Like the guy, I know y'all are addicted to a lot of channels, like researchers, like they coming with something mind blowing. You got to know that they're lying to you. You have to have time that you actually spend researching. If you just every day, your ass live 365 days a year with a discovery, when were you discovering the discoveries, my guy? When were you actually discovering the discoveries? You see, it's fake. It's bullshit, right? You got to actually be in the field sometime. You know what I'm saying? So that's what your support is about. Is me being in the field and then coming back to you guys with the findings and then creating spaces where we can have our group discussions like American Healer podcast, and then the breakout MDR news where we can get a little bit more techie, you know, or not even techie, more specific into the nuances of what it is, like so we could geek out a little bit more on our shit. You know what I'm saying?
All right, people. So due diligence. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And
yes, and then come over and subscribe to American Healer after you subscribe right here.
Because American Healer and our Instagram pages are right below. You guys have seen that scrolling at the bottom of the entire stream. So you got American Healer on YouTube. You got at Dr. Enqi _did.
I forgot how high tech is. Yeah. And listen. When I look over here, I'm just looking to see Marv because Marv is over here on my laptop. My camera's over here.
Right.
So,
and then you got at Marvin Health and Arts. That's my.
And you know what? It's crazy. Mm-hmm. I could just move my laptop right over here, and it'd be like in front of the camera, and then maybe I'll just be looking a little under the camera like this. It'd be more like a teleprompter kind of thing.
I'm the same way too. You see, like I'm looking here, like that's where
it's just like. You know what it is? When I set this room up, I just plop my computer right there for no apparent reason. Like it's a long table here. I just plop my computer right there. And so subconsciously, I'm a creature of habit. I just put my laptop right in that same space every time. If it's not right there, like I get like a little sprinkle of OCD where I gotta put it right back where it belongs at. Like, but there's literally no marks or higher level or like there's nothing. It's just a flat table. And so in my mind, it's just like it belongs right there. So it's, I don't know. One day maybe I'll move it to here.
Yeah, I guess I need to start figuring out how to clip this joint on top of the laptop if I want to use it. Because if I actually were to switch, like if you watch this back and you see me in the beginning, the page they were watching me on when I first got on, that's using my laptop's webcam. And now when I switched over to the StreamYard, they can see what the quality webcam is. So you can kind of see the difference in quality there. I'm happy with these webcams they made. These Logitech Jones, they're pretty nice. Them Jones.
Bro, the webcam game is crazy right now. They got these other ones called They got the camera and the mic. They start with the letter G. These shits is bad. They like $200. Bad.
Try to remember.
Bad.
I already like the mic. Love the mic right here.
Now, anyway, I'm out of here. We've been here for a minute.
Yeah. So
We got to do more.
yes. Let me just give them the channel.
But hold on, Marv. So hold on, because I got about a good 2-hour conversation for them on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Now, would you like to join that broadcast, Marv, and do some sort of dish for the people or something to that effect?
Yes, I would, and I will keep you guys posted on that because I always got to have a dish or two for y'all when it comes to Thanksgiving. So, feel free after the video's over to drop
look,
some.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We got to have an unmasculine moment right now. So, fellas, listen. This is an unmasculine moment, pause moment, whatever the case may be. So, just. I feel a part of what I've been saying since before I was making videos. I want to change the world by changing the trend. And that was my initial slogan. I had it on my first book. Change the world, change the trend. Now, Marv is not the darkest guy. He could, it'd be more effective if he was dark. But Marv is black with a deep voice, and now Marv is muscled up. That is the perfect image. That is the perfect image to have cooking for the holidays. We need to see that. The big diesel black guy with the deep voice in the kitchen, seasoning and garnishing.
Oh, y'all know I got the counter space.
You gotta do that. Because listen, but no, every level we gotta be breaking out of this mold and breaking out of these things where how we look traps us in. You know what I'm saying? I'm still fighting the battle for life that a doctor could wear gold teeth and wear, sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to show these things to people. Like, no, I could be muscular and whatever and still get busy in the kitchen. Or I could be a man of the neighborhood or a man amongst men, so to speak, and still go home and raise my kids and be, a nurturer, you know what I'm saying, and a protector. Like, so we gotta break these molds, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, y'all know I'm gonna hook some stuff up Thanksgiving, and I already know how the streaming part works, so all I gotta focus on is the dish. Now, feel free after the video's over to drop in the comment section some ideas, and I might actually pick one.
I might see what's what. I might have a dish or something. I don't know. I might have a dish or something.
Okay.
It might get crazy because the children was already saying something about something. I don't know. Dad, you gonna let Marv do you like that? I'm like,
here's a cool
what
thing.
is happening right now? They're like, well, how Marv gonna make something? You ain't making nothing. I'm like,
we gonna talk about this, but I can, like what I'm doing now, I don't have to do the fanciest stuff, but I can actually use StreamYard, and we can use our laptop and our camera and have 4 blocks where you're getting 2 views of you cooking, and it's all on the same StreamYard. StreamYard lets you do that. So we both could be making dishes and talking with 2 different blocks. So it's 4 blocks, it's pointing at you and then it's pointing at the dish that you're cooking. Like, we can do that if it's like a collaborative.
oh, that's
thing.
incredible.
Yeah. I use I use my cell phone and my laptop when I'm cooking, and I use the laptop, the camera that floats, this John right here. That's pointing at the cutting board and the actual stove. The other one is the wide shot of me looking at the camera talking, so it's both at the same time. So now they can see what's happening down and up. So we'll go over that, and I'll tell you.
You the man when it comes to that. So yeah.
So we'll do that, peoples. Yeah. Final words.
Nah.
All right. Patreon.com/Dr. Enqi. You see it.
Stay tapped in. Stay tapped in. Yeah. That.
Yep.
Yes. What Marv about to say?
Y'all see it on the screen. Patreon.com/Dr. Enqi. That's for the Thanksgiving stream, for the information, for the science, for the updates. You have to be on Patreon, so that's the link right there. Instagram, you get the quick hits on Instagram. For those of you who want to be over on Instagram, Dr. Enqi _did or at Marvin Health and Arts. American Healer YouTube page. You're here on my page, so if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click subscribe and like on this video if you're on my page right now, so you have that information. Any ideas for dishes and stuff, feel free to drop it in the comment section right when we get off. Don't put it in the live chat. Put it in the comment section after the video's done, because those are the things we're going to be able to see right away. All right? And that's it for me, so peace to the doc. Peace to the chat.
Hey, any minute could be a New York minute.
Any minute. All right, y'all.